the thing that I know your company does a lot, the thing that I was so interested to learn more about was your grouting solutions. And it sounds like you have grouting solutions for both manholes and the sewer pipe in the ground.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you're basically creating a new pipe, and then you cut in all your laterals.
Yeah.
But then you're still creating there's an empty space for your I&I to still clean. So if you have a manhole that's leaking, what you would do is you can you drill through your concrete manholes at several points, and then there's a probe grouting tool that you can actually pump grout into the backside of your manhole.
Other thing that seemed really impactful about CUES as a company is the whole approach to condition assessment and management.
Right.
And it seems like you guys have a software that tracks that, I think.
Yeah, so we can also build it into a truck where it's on a mass system.
Yeah.
So you just back up, pull the mass system out, do your manhole inspection.
The spider cam, it's a 360 camera.
It is.
With what kind of ultrasonic sonar?
It's called
It has rained a lot here in Colorado for the months of August and July. Municipalities are seeing lots of infiltration, inflow, or I&I coming into their systems. That's why for today's show on Engineers for Communities, we've got Vincent Fernandez with CUES. He's going to share some of the tools and techniques and technologies that they use to locate and quantify I&I. Tune in and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to the Engineers for Communities podcast. My name is Nate Yang, your host here with Vinny Fernandez with CUES Inc. Vinny, thanks for being on the show today.
No problem. Appreciate it.
So we're here at the CRWA conference in Loveland, Colorado, and I couldn't help but notice walking by your booth that you guys have solutions for some things that are really important here. A lot of the aging infrastructure across the state has I&I issues in the collection system.
Right.
The thing that I know your company does a lot, the thing that I was so interested to learn more about was your grouting solutions. And it sounds like you have grouting solutions for both manholes and the sewer pipe in the ground.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, so CUES has been in the industry manufacturing equipment for 50 plus years. We're headquartered in Orlando, Florida. They actually started out as a contracting grouting company and then moved on to TV and then moved to becoming a manufacturer of the equipment. So they have a lot of history in grouting. We grout primarily your main lines up to about 20 inches. We have other packers or devices that can grout larger pipe, and then we do probe grouting for your manholes. Usually it's the chemical we use is an acrylamide, and there are vendors that we use. Avanti Grout is one of the companies that we use, and they do acrylamide and urethane grouting.
Right on. So for those of the listeners that are like me, I have no idea what grouting was, but saw it as a solution to I&I.
Yeah.
Break it down like the most basic thing. So like I have a pipe. I know there's I&I somewhere between this manhole and that manhole.
Right.
I call a contractor that works with CUES or has a piece of CUES equipment.
Right.
Maybe specifically the inflatable bladder.
The packers. Yeah.
Packers, yeah. And then what happens from there?
So once you've established that you have I&I and what you want to, that's like, hey, there's this line I want to rehab.
Yeah.
What you're going to do is you've obviously defined where you want it. Our packer systems goes into the main line. The packer on either end will inflate, and then the center void stays open. So we pump chemical grout down.
Yeah.
They mix at the joint and then gets pumped around the exterior of your pipe. So it stops your I&I and actually will support your pipe from.
That's incredible. Yeah. So basically, the pressure created by the packer pushes the grout through whatever hole you have.
Right. No. So there's actually chemical pumps on the pump. Chemical pumps on our trucks that push both chemicals down the line.
Yeah.
And then they meet, and then that water pressure or the chemical pressure that builds up in that area, and then obviously takes the path of least resistance
out of the pipe,
and then
around,
and then it bonds with the earth that's around it to help
just kind of
encapsulating
the PAM. So it seals it from the outside in. Now, maybe a silly question here, but what prevents the inside of the pipe from getting filled with acrylamide and this grouting material? Yeah.
It does fill with acrylamide and the grouting material, but because it's not bonding with any gravel or aggregate, a simple jetter can go through and flush it away.
Okay, so basically this grouting material doesn't bond to the inside of a PVC lateral, doesn't bond to clay, or it only bonds to the ground.
It'll solidify,
yeah,
but it's flexible enough that it will be knocked away.
Push through.
Yeah, because you're binding all the little aggregate pieces on the outside of your pipe that help keep that from being so porous, and it keeps.
And that's where the INI is coming from, is from that,
Right.
from the surrounding soil. Yeah. So this solution, compared to cured in place point repair of line,
so like a CIPP, like a either a folding form or a resin coated CIPPs. Those just create an annulus.
Yeah.
So you're basically creating a new pipe, and then you cut in all your laterals.
Yeah.
But then you're still creating an empty. There's an empty space for your INI to still
between the cured liner
between your
and
pipe
the host pipe, the water INI could come in and go through.
You just migrate
down.
from where
Yeah.
it was to when you start cutting open.
Yeah. Whereas with the grout, you've encapsulated the whole pipe,
Exactly.
and then now the water would have to go between the host pipe and the grout.
Correct.
But the grout's been pushed by gravity and whatnot.
The grout
around.
has
Yeah.
came out for your joint, and it's settled.
Gravity has settled it on
Yeah.
top, and it's bound on the top
Correct.
to the thing. Wow.
Yeah.
And so, in addition to grouting, the sewer pipes, there's the grouting method for the manholes.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah. So if you have a manhole that's leaking, what you would do is you can you drill through your concrete manholes at several points, and then there's a probe grouting tool that you can actually pump grout into the backside of your manhole.
Same thing. Around the side, around the back. Yeah.
So if you're for some reason one of your hole seals is leaking,
Yeah.
you can go above it and then grout all the way around it,
Yeah.
and hopefully prevent your manhole from leaking.
So multiple solutions to aging infrastructure here in a cost-effective manner.
It's very cost. I mean, obviously the cost of the truck is your biggest purchase right off the bat, but that truck can last you 10 plus years, and you can stop your INI, getting your treatment plan and having to treat fresh water.
Yeah, and the other thing that seemed really impactful about CUES as a company is the whole approach to condition assessment and management.
Right.
And it seems like you guys have a software that tracks that, I think.
Yeah, so we work with our proprietary software is GraniteNet.
Yeah.
But I think you might be talking about our Easy Grout panel.
That or the GraniteNet, either one.
So GraniteNet is
Tell me more about your approach to the
So our GraniteNet software is our asset management.
Yeah.
Where we work with Beehive, Esri, GIS, a lot of CityWorks, those kind of companies, and it's all integrated part of our TV inspection program.
So information from your condition assessment tools, like we haven't talked about them on the show right now, but a whole line of cameras.
And then you can do TV. And then with that, you can typically when you're going down and grouting a line, you're going to have a TV camera
to locate exactly where the spot is.
And watch what's going on inside the pipe because you're not going down there blind.
Yeah.
And then you'd be able to record that.
Yeah, and I think, sorry, I got lost for a second there, but the thing I was going to ask about was the spider cam.
Oh, the spider
cam. Because, we've talked about the probe grouting.
Right.
But before, after, like, the imaging and data you're getting from the spider cam sounds like something that I'm not sure there's an industry equivalent.
There isn't an industry equivalent, and the amount of data you get off the spider, it's called a spider because it has eight.
Yeah, let's start from the top. Let's go.
It's called spider because it has 8 cameras and 8 sensors on it. It's a truly portable. You don't need any external power sources. It comes with you have a couple batteries. It lasts for about 4 hours, and then you change them out after a lot.
And you just roll up in the truck right next to the manhole.
So we have a couple different applications.
Yeah.
It can be just tripod deployed, so you can go in a bed of a pickup truck.
Oh wow!
And go do this, set it up, and do all your manhole scans.
And it sits on a tripod just over the manhole like that.
And then we also have we can also build it into a truck where it's on a mass system.
Yeah.
So you just back up, pull the mass system out, do your manhole inspection, and then you're done. Yeah. It's a self-contained unit, and then so you do a bunch of your manhole inspections, and then you offload all the data later. Yeah. Works into a CAD program, so you can do CAD overlays. So if you have a rehab project going on for your manholes, you can do a post or a pre-inspection of your manhole, rehab it, and then do a post inspection and check that. And then you can see the difference. You can measure the thickness of your liners.
Okay, so let's stay on this.
Right.
The spider cam, it's a 360 camera.
It is.
With what kind of ultrasonic sonar?
It's called stereo imaging.
So it's 360 camera that goes down to the manhole with stereo imaging, which measures the thickness of the wall.
It'll measure your thickness of your wall up to about 5 millimeters.
And if I'm a district manager, or if I'm in charge of submitting my condition assessment forms. What'd you call it?
The MACP is the NASCO standard for.
So I have to submit my MACPs. If I can get a hold of one of these spider cams, I don't think there's a better tool for mapping the inside of the wall.
Definitely. I mean, if you buy the spider cam and you're putting in all these new manholes and you do your once they're installed, you do these inspections and now you have this data.
Yeah.
5 years down the line, you go back, you have a lot of H2S in your system. 5 years down the line, you can go back and scan those manholes,
see the thickness, see if it's eroding.
If there's been any wall loss on your system because of the H2S.
Is there any other way to measure that other than digging out the soil on the other side of the manhole and pretty much
I mean, the other way we like to use Spider is if a customer doesn't have obviously a scan prior to the manhole going in there, but they know that it was originally a 36-inch cylinder.
Yeah.
You can take a current manhole. You can take a current manhole scan and just put a 36-inch cylinder in the side of it, and then you can see if there's been any wall loss compared. I mean, obviously, it's not 100% that way.
Yeah.
But it's a tool that we can use to show that you have certain wall loss in certain areas.
And if you send the spider down, the imaging. Could show you exactly where the ion is.
So the imaging shows. I mean, so you get a video, you get images, and then it also creates a point cloud.
Wow!
So you get a lot of.
And is this integrated with the GraniteNet software?
Yeah, it's integrated with our GraniteNet.
Yeah, so it just fills out.
Actually, it doesn't just work with GraniteNet software. It'll work.
It can integrate with
all the other asset softwares out there.
Rad.
Yeah,
that sounds game changing.
It is really when it came out, I think almost 7 years ago now.
Yeah,
it was before its time.
Yeah,
it was before it was. A lot of people were really considering their manholes. All the focus in the industry has always been mainline.
Yeah,
well, the main lines go to somewhere. So all these access points, all these manholes, and now people are realizing, oh man, I got a lot of failure in my manholes. And that's where I think the spider started to take off.
Right.
So it'd be more popular.
Cool. Well, who buys these units? Who are your main customer base? And if we can't buy a unit, or if a municipality says, you know what, I want this kind of inspection done by a spider type unit, or hey, grouting sounds like, if I'm an engineer and I want to spec a grouting repair.
Yeah.
How do I do that?
So with we do rent our spider systems.
Yeah.
So if you only have like 150 manholes that you need to rehab, and
one-time job,
you're just going to do a pre and post inspection of the rehab.
Call you up, you write a quote.
Go ahead. Call me up, write you a quote, and then we can set you up to rent a spider. It's a little bit more difficult with the grouting equipment. We don't rent that typically.
That'd be a contractor
and then a contractor, a contractor would purchase the equipment from us. And then they would go out and perform grouting.
And I'm not sure if you'd answer this previously. Do you have a contractor in the Denver-ish area or in Texas that does grouting repairs?
Currently, we don't have any contractors here in Denver.
Yeah.
I don't know about Texas. That's not part of my regions.
Yeah.
But I know we have municipalities like Miami-Dade.
Yeah.
Miami-Dade runs their
tons of iron. They own some grouting.
They run their grout trucks almost like they run their TV equipment.
Wow. Yeah. So it's hand to hand. They run the TV, find it, run the grout.
Yeah.
So we know where the leak is. Well, what are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
You can mobilize the repair immediately, or you can just log it in your management system and do nothing. And it makes a lot more sense to have the two side by side. So
typically we work with contractors to do a lot of the grouting. Yeah. If the municipality sees enough in their budget, enough of a cost effectiveness,
major municipalities,
municipalities might buy one,
but mostly contractors will use it, and they'll be supported on the back end by CUES.
They're 100% supported by us. They buy their grout from whoever they decide to buy their grout from. They buy the equipment from us. The other thing I didn't mention is we also work with a company called Logiball. They actually create packers.
Yeah.
And we actually can do some lateral grouting as well.
Oh, cool.
So what they do, they pull the packer up to a lateral and it inflates a lateral bladder.
Yeah.
And it could be anywhere from 3 inch, 4 inch, 6 inch. But if you have I&I coming from somebody's lateral around the outside of a lateral, you can bring the packer, you can bring the grouting system in.
How far up can it?
I think the largest grouting bladder for a lateral is about 6 feet.
Okay.
So it goes 6 feet in, and then it inflates another bladder,
Yeah.
and then so you pump grout around it. So hopefully it encapsulates that whole area, so you can get grout around that.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I've heard from other studies that sometimes up to 80-85% of the INI comes from lateral.
Where the connection is, yeah. A lot of them are, I know, they're break-ins.
Or they CIPP it and they cut it out and maybe it doesn't go perfectly, or
Right,
you know, so
right.
all sorts of issues. But that's cool. You guys have a solution for that. I hadn't heard of a solution for lateral. So, man, dude.
Yeah.
Well, Vinny, thank you so much for hopping on the pod. Is there anything I missed here that you'd like to share with the listeners?
No, just CUES has been in the industry for 50 plus years. We don't just do grouting equipment. We do CCTV equipment, really purpose built mainline TV inspection equipment.
Right on.
And we have a custom cabinetry shop. So if you have a truck in mind, or you want to build something specific to your likings, we have a way to do that for you
And make it happen.
Yeah.
So you're our sewer line manhole asset management folks.
Yes.
Right on.
Yep. Love it. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.